Hello, it is Saturday, August 21st, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Saturday puzzle, the most difficult of all the puzzles of the week. So hopefully we do okay. We've had some tricky puzzles this week, and I wanted to get started by addressing some of the tricky clues, or at least some of the clues I found tricky in yesterday's puzzle. In one case, Bice Dibley points out, for the sports fans, there's a little bit of fun in the top right with Staples, Arena, and Silas. The Staples Center is an arena in LA that is the home of the Clippers NBA team, and Paul Silas's first head coach job was at the Clippers. Admittedly, they were the San Diego Clippers at the time, but still. So that's very clever. Staples, Arena, and Silas all referencing one another in a sort of metatextual way. And that's something I never, ever would have appreciated that. So I'm glad someone wrote in about it. And we have a couple other little clarifications. Stephen Norrie points out, the Oscar host you were stuck on was referring to the great Bob Hope. So that, I feel quite ridiculous for not inferring that myself. The Oscar host Hope, for whatever reason, I was getting very hung up on the completely incorrect assumption that it must have been a modern or very recent or possibly even most recent Oscar host. I don't know why that was lodged into my brain in that way, but Bob Hope, I think, would have been the longest, the most frequently serving Oscar host, or at least one of them. So I that should have occurred to me. And then Stephen Norrie also points out the passing stat, ATT, referred to attempts. So quite a lot of sports in that puzzle, and I missed pretty much all of it. Frederick S. says, as far as I know, the quote, "Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman," is from the TV show Adventures of Superman, which aired in the 1950s. And that's correct. I did look it up, and that is accurate. Also, it never occurred to me before looking that up that someone excitedly yelling about there being a bird in the sky is sort of adorable and slightly odd. I suppose a plane, particularly in the 1950s, might have been more worthy of note. But who am I to say? And finally, there was a fun comment from Mr. Swiss Lion that wasn't a correction, but this person said, this was the first one in a while that I got to hang out with friends and solve collaboratively. And then this person goes on to describe who in the group was particularly tuned to different answers and clues and that sort of thing. And that's really fun. I've never solved a crossword collaboratively. Occasionally when my wife and I are sitting near each other and we're doing the crossword, we'll mention a clue that we think the other person might know, and maybe confirm or deny, I guess. But I've never done the crossword intentionally with other people, so that's pretty fun. And I've seen people say that elsewhere in the comments. I've seen people say that they solve that way, and that does seem like a really nice activity. And then finally, I don't have any. I didn't pull out any specific comments to this effect, but there were people who, once again, did say that yesterday was a particularly good puzzle for them. So once again, you just never know. And for now, I should say, we're on to today's crossword. This is, of course, a Saturday crossword. No title. We haven't had very many titles recently, have we? This is a crossword by Joseph Greenbaum, edited, as always, by Will Shorts. And are we ready to get started? I don't know how to get any more ready, so let's say okay. All right, so we have exercises with squat thrusts and jumps. I'm not sure. I would have thought each of those was itself an exercise, so this must be getting at some kind of routine or something. Probably ends in an S. All right, let's see. Bit of Christmas morning detritus. Would this be something dealing with packaging from gifts or something that would fall from the tree? I'm not sure what this would be, and only 3 letters. School in the Atlantic 10 conference. Let's come back to that. Let's keep going with the acrosses for now. Literally great soul. I don't know. I wonder if this is something religious or spiritual. Auto parts giant. This is not giving me a lot of confidence so far. Momentous. Could be weighty, would be something that would fit in there, I think. But I don't feel as though I'm confident enough to enter that without any crosses. Certain sidekicks. Well, this might end with an S up here, and this might end with an S here. Does that help us at all? They'll help you pass on impulses. So this could mean they'll help you pass on impulses. They'll help you resist temptation. It could also refer to sort of neurological impulse or something like that in the brain. I'm going to keep going for now. I hope I get some sort of break-in before too long here. Writing letters, it's said. What is it said to be when one writes letters? A short spiel. Boy, so a quick pitch, quick sales pitch, or oft-repeated story, something like that. Part of a fancy table setting. Defer for now. I'm going to just keep going through these, actually, and then not make any guesses unless it's something I think is a complete gimme. T follower. T, I mean, this is pretty silly. Could it be V, TV? Sometimes in the crossword, there will be spelled out initialisms, like TV for television, but spelled out. That does happen sometimes, phonetically. It's phonetically spelled out, I mean. That's a pretty wild stab. I mean, this isn't going to be helpful as a cross because it's so long. Ah, boy. Its highest score is 1520. Some sort of test, presumably. E-signature holder, maybe. E-signature. Oh, I bet this is PDF. What is this? Portable document format or something? It's the when you bake a document into a widely compatible but non-editable form, not easily editable form. Its highest score is 1520. I bet this is the practice something. Often you'll have tests that have a practice form that begin with a P, like the PSAT, which this could be. I saw blank, he saw me. Classic tongue twister line. I don't know. This is going to be a rough puzzle, I think we can say today. Light touch could be a dab. Unnatural, in a way. I don't know. Faux, F-A-U-X, for, I mean, that's sort of, I'm trying to be mindful of that in a way suffix there, because that probably means this isn't necessarily a completely literal swap for unnatural, which is why I thought maybe something like faux. Workers' cry of triumph. Well, this could be TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. That would be a worker's cry of triumph, possibly. Let's see, is there anything here? Start of some decision-making. Could be eeny, as in eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That comes up occasionally. What's this? Director Wiseman. I want to say Len Wiseman. Blank Newworth, jeweler. This is not my puzzle. So what is this? Unpredictable. And then start of some decision-making. What if we did pencil in eeny here? Cable network with a rhyming name. Oh, I think this is sci-fi, which renamed itself from sci-fi spelled as science fiction to... The way I got there was by figuring, well, if it ends in Y, it probably ends in an I or E sound. So that would have to be repeated. It would have to be something with that vowel sound repeated. And this seems plausible. So unnatural in a way. Oh, it could be dyed, as in not your natural hair color. Your hair is dyed. A worker's cry of triumph. Oh, done. It was simpler than what I was making it out to be. I will have quite a cry of triumph if I am done with this puzzle. And I say if there, not when. All right, unpredictable. Oh, full of surprises, perhaps. There we go. That fits. Okay. That's a relief. It's nice to have a big, long answer to give me some crosses. I saw blank, he saw me. Oh, it could be I saw Esau. That would... I've not heard this tongue twister before, but that's a name, and that would, I think, phonetically be in the tongue twister sort of mode. So maybe this is PSAT, this highest score, practice standardized achievement test. Part of a fancy table setting. What would a fancy table setting incorporate? Let's keep looking around. The Baltics once. Oh, SSRs, Soviet Socialist Republics. Holiday dish with lots of stuffing. Well, I certainly would never have arrived at this without these crosses, but with the crosses, I think this might be turducken, which is a duck stuffed inside a turkey, a duck stuffed inside a chicken, stuffed inside a turkey, or some order of such a thing. I think ducks can be a pretty wildly differing size, can't they? Anyway, this is, I've never had this, and I can't imagine it would actually be a very pleasant thing to eat. I don't know, but it sort of became a bit of a meme, I think, a number of years ago. So defer for now. Oh, punt, I suppose this is. If we'll punt, we're going to kick it into the long grass and deal with it later. Noggins, brains, perhaps? Left at sea. I'm guessing this means left, in other words, the counterpart to right, as opposed to left meaning deserted. But that could be wrong. What would that be? What would port is left, but I think that's a direction, whereas perhaps this means the left side of the boat? Would it? I'm not sure. Momentous. And writing letters, it's said. Short spiel. Let's just keep going for the time being. I am blank, one-time spin-off of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I must admit, I basically only have the vaguest idea of who the Kardashians even actually are, so I'm not sure who this would be. Hopefully it's a name that can be inferred through crosses. Couleur du brocoli. So this is French, and it wants the color green, which is vert, V-E-R-T. Lead into clean. So it's a brand. You can tell it's a brand name, or you can strongly infer that it will be a brand name because the C is capitalized there. So OxyClean kind of rings a bell, maybe. There you go, I see, would be voila. No, actually, that's nice. A little bit of French crossing another bit of French. And voila, I would say, is a pretty widely known phrase in English as well. So this does look like Oxy. And then what do we have here? Phone hotline. This is clever. Phone hotline. So I think this would be a sext. In other words, a sort of hotline sent via a phone. I think is what that's getting at. So to go around could be to spin. I don't know. I'm not completely confident about spin, and I don't really... The I here... I don't know. Part of a contingency plan. Part of a contingency plan. So this would be a sort of plan B, presumably. Let's keep looking around. Special times. I don't know, Eves. I'm only saying that because of the V, as in Christmas Eve or another holiday, Eve. Rugby equivalent of a touchdown, another sport thing that I do not know. GPS component, abbreviation. So when you see component like this following an initialism like GPS, it could mean it could certainly plausibly and conceivably be a physical part that is used to construct a GPS, a global positioning system. But most of the time, what this means is simply a component of what it is, the full phrase to which GPS refers. So in this case, global positioning system, we now know that this answer begins with S. So I think we can safely assume that system is the component of GPS to which this clue is referring. So we can put that in there. And then we have the rugby equivalent of a touchdown. And I forgot that's what that was, and I'm not going to know. Let's keep going. Blank Newworth, jeweler. I don't know. Presumably it's another name. Related, could be akin, related to, akin to. Go around. I suppose it is spin. I am blank, one-time spin-off of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Oh, Kate, I guess? I kept thinking Chit for some reason, like a strange Chet. But Kate looks more likely to me as a name. I'm trying to think of what names could fit in there, and I don't think there are very many options, so I think I'm going to put that in, and we'll see if I have to adjust it. Part of a contingency plan. Why am I not seeing this? Let's keep going. Indicators of enlightenment. Ahas, perhaps? You might say aha if you've been enlightened as to a particular issue. Special times. Maybe it's not. Oh, whoops, I spelled ahas wrong. Special, oh, I see. Okay, so it's not eaves. This is referring to a span of time that is special enough to be named, for instance, an era. So special times would be eras. Rugby equivalent of a touchdown. Could it be try? Oops. A lot of typos recently. Try looks like it could work, and that sounds like the kind of thing you might have. Yes. And So this is a satisfied exclamation, I suppose, which now with that guess of T for try, I suspect this will be that hits the spot or this hits the spot, something like that. That hits the spot. It could be this or that. So let's remove the AT until we have some more crosses. T following, T follower, T, what is this? Sorry if you're seeing that. Give waves to with a curling iron once. So when it says once like that, what I assume this to mean is that it is an archaic or possibly simply slightly outdated term to refer to giving waves to with a curling iron. I'm not sure what that's getting at, though. Do we have anything up here? Literally great soul. And momentous. I'm going to need to find something else up in this top third or so at some point, aren't I? But maybe that time is not now. What was this again? T follower. Oh, tee-hee. I see, as in a laugh. Yes, okay. So give waves to with a curling iron once. Give wave to. Did I say gives? Give. Important to maintain that so we don't have a wayward S in here. Give waves to with a curling iron once. I'm not sure. What do we have around here? Let's see. Study. Could be a den if it's a room. Apt bingo call to lose on by the sound of it. I wonder if this is, no, I was going to say 9, as in no in German, but that doesn't fit. What is going, so bingo. Bingo is, it sounds silly for me to have to say this, but I'm pretty sure bingo right is when you have a board with a series of numbers on it arranged into a grid, and then somebody draws random numbers, and you're looking for a complete row, column, or diagonal, I think. I mean, I know that sounds so stupid for me to say it, but the reason I'm going through that is because I want to make sure I understand what this is, because I don't see immediately what it would be. Apt bingo call to lose on by the sound of it. So something is going to be sort of homophonic with a different word that isn't the one we're putting in, but sounds like the one we're putting in. And that would be something that is appropriate to losing. I don't know. Are there things in bingo that are not numbers that are also called? I'm not sure. I don't see what number this would be that would fit in there. Sorry about that. Key rings. Key rings. So I think, so we have this question mark here. So either key or rings, or I think maybe in this case both. I think both of these words are contributing to a sort of pun answer that is not what we would ordinarily expect if we hear the phrase key rings. And I think what this might be is atolls. In other words, sort of little island chain, like a key, but rings of them. I think that's what that's getting at. Oh, no, I see that. Okay, sorry. It was right that I talked through this bingo thing because I was incorrect. It's not just numbers in bingo, it's numbers and letters. So there's a letter and a number that when spoken aloud sound like something that is appropriate as a losing call. And with the TE, this looks like 10, doesn't it? Boy, I don't know. I'm not seeing it, though. I'm sorry. Sorry for that long pause, silent pause there. Part of a contingency plan, a raincoat? Might bring a raincoat in case it rains as a contingency plan. That seems a little bit broad. Let's keep going. Common attachments to lanyards. ID tags, maybe, at a sort of conference or something like that. Got better again. Get better again, I'm sorry. Rehabs. I don't know that that is as spot on as I'd want it to be. But this looks like Irene now. And re seems like an appropriate way to begin the answer to a clue with again in it. So let's say this is Irene. And then what sunlight and wind provide? I see. It is renewable energy. I've certainly been needing to renew my energy after the opening of this puzzle, which had me totally flummoxed. Part of a fancy table setting. It's a ewer, a sort of vase. You could have water in it. A jug, pouring jug is, I guess, more accurate than vase. Is what I think this is. So let's see. Short spiel. Still not sure about that. Let's look now that we have some crosses on renewable energy. Certain sidekicks. Not sure. Auto parts giant. Don't know that off the top of my head either. Exercises with squat thrusts and jumps. Although this does probably end with an S, and that makes me notice this down here, which does look like it is a neurological meaning. They'll help you pass on impulses, or in this case, they'll help you pass on impulses. It depends where you put the emphasis. So synapses or synapses. I don't think we looked at all the downs here. K2 figure. What is K2? What is that? Patchwork elephant of children's literature. I don't remember the patchwork part, but Babar is an elephant of children's literature. I remember Babar from my childhood. I don't remember what the patchwork element was. So it might be something else, but let's try putting in Babar because it does fit, and there can't be too many elephants of children's literature, I wouldn't think. Now, does that help up here? Exercises with squat thrusts and jumps. Oh, aerobes, as in Aerobics? An aerobe, though, is that what an individual aerobics exercise is called? I'm not very confident about this, I have to say. Oinkling. A piglet? I don't know. Oinkling question mark. I mean, it seems like that could be a sort of cute way of referring to a piglet, doesn't it? What if we put that in? Does that help at all? Short spiel. Oh. Wait, I think I have some things wrong here. I don't think brains is correct either, because now with piglet, that really makes short spiel look like elevator pitch. I'm sorry if you were aware of how many incorrect answers I had sitting around here for a few minutes, but I think I'm much more confident in elevator pitch than I am in any of the vertical clues I had before, any of the down clues. So noggins. It should have occurred to me that brains would be a bit too straightforward an answer for noggins, because noggins is very much an informal term, and generally speaking, you'll match that informality in the answer. It doesn't have to be the case, but that's something you'd look out for that. I've made that kind of mistake a few times in the last several days, I think. Left at sea. Oh, I see. So, it's a cat. I don't know if you can hear that cat screaming in the background. No, Fluffy. Don't knock over the trash bin. I'm cat sitting, as I think I've mentioned a few times, and this cat very much has free reign throughout both in and out of the house. Okay, left at sea. So yes, port would be left, and then I suppose directionally, perhaps it's a port. I'm not 100% confident about this, but that seems plausible. Okay, drip locale, abbreviation. Drip locale, abbreviation. I'm not sure. Let's keep going. I don't think we've looked at most of these down clues. It's a start. This might be something that actually came up yesterday, I think, which is probably why it is at the forefront of my mind, which would be Act 1 with 1 as a Roman numeral. So here, okay. The first thing that occurred to me when I saw Great Soul was Mahatma. In other words, Mahatma Gandhi, the sort of honorific applied to Mohandas Gandhi. But I should have said it aloud, but I didn't, because I felt initially it was too much of a random stab, because I wasn't incredibly confident about the translation. And then when I got brains in here, that went completely out of the window. But now that we have brains gone, now that my brain is gone, and we have these other crosses, I really do think this is Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma. All right, great. That's better. Oh, and then momentous is epochal. Epochal. And then noggins. What is this? Maybe I do have something wrong. Drip locale, a hospital, in other words, an intravenous drip. And then that hits the spot. Gives waves to with a curling iron once. Still not seeing this. Give waves to. I keep saying gives. It's give waves to. Boy, I don't know what this is. What is this across? Writing letters, it's said. Postal? Oh, have we looked at this yet? Blank Gibson, first African-American to win a Grand Slam title. Althea, I would think. Writing letters, it's said. Could this be act? Mackle? Post-act? I'm sorry if this is very, very clear. Oh, melons. Melons. Your noggin, your melon. It's another, yes, it is a slang word to refer to your mind. And writing letters, it's said, is a lost art. Yes, okay, very good. On that note, actually, speaking of the word note, I would recommend the Twitter account and book series, Letters of Note, which are, it started as a Twitter account, somebody who posts interesting historical letters, and anything from the modern day dating back centuries, and they're very, very interesting. And this person has published a few book collections now, collections of very interesting letters by notable people, or sometimes not necessarily by notable people, but surrounding notable events, all different letters that are notable for one reason or another. And they're very, very interesting and quite varied. I would recommend it, called Letters of Note. Anyway, certain sidekicks. Wingmen is what this is getting at. I see. Bit of Christmas morning detritus. Do? It's not really detritus, is it? School in the Atlantic 10 conference. Don't know. Patchwork elephant of children's literature. So it certainly wasn't Babar. And yeah, the patchwork was throwing me off, because Babar, I think, was a real elephant in those stories, whereas this maybe is suggesting a sort of stuffed elephant who's animated or something. But I don't know that I know who this is. K2 figure. Oh, is K2 a mountain? This elevation, that actually sounds right to me. I think K2 is a mountain. Exercises with squat thrusts and jumps. Could the patchwork elephant be Elmer? Just auto parts giant. I mean, if the elephant is Elmer, oops, this could be O'Reilly, which I don't know if that's an auto parts giant, but it would fit. It's a name, and businesses are very often names. Bit of Christmas morning detritus. What is this? Why am I? I'm sorry. Why am I not seeing what this is? Maybe it's not O'Reilly. Maybe it is, and I'm just very silly. So, oh, it's a bow. It's a bow that was on a gift as part of gift wrapping. Of course, oof. All right, and then this, I suppose, is burpees. Or did you do squat thrusts and jumps to burp? I don't know what this is getting at, but I think that's probably what it is. School in the Atlantic 10 conference, URI. Maybe that's the University of Rhode Island. I'm going to call this corner complete. The triple C, if you will. Let's move on. I think that's probably all correct up there. Part of a contingency plan. Oh, right. So, yes, perhaps a raincoat. Get better again. Revive. Program that we haven't looked at all the crosses here. Program that a 2011 Global Commission officially declared a failure 40 years after its launch. Interesting. So what is this? Something happened in what, 1971? And it was ultimately a failure. The war on drugs? Okay, that would make sense. I think that sounds about the right point at which the so-called war on drugs was initiated, and I think it would be broadly seen as a failure. So that sounds right. Get better again, right? Let's move on. Kind of rabbit. I'm not sure offhand. I want to say it just looks like Argyle in there, but I don't know that means anything. 2012 NFL retiree who leads all quarterbacks in career pass completions, 7,142. Certainly sounds like a high number. But I don't know why I'm looking at this. I'm not gonna suddenly know this piece of NFL knowledge. Blank space. Well, with the number of letters and the crosses, I suspect this is outer space. Tired. Worn, I suppose. Posthumous Pulitzer winner of 1958. Aggie, maybe? Synthetic material, also called frozen smoke. I keep noticing that there's so many clues we've not yet examined here. Oh, aerosol? Oh, I see. Get better again. Re-heal. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know that re-heal is necessarily something that I have heard used particularly, but yeah, not crazy about that answer, but I suppose it works. So, oh, Germany's largest urban area. Could this be Ruhr? R-U-H-R, I think. That sort of rings a bell to me in Germany. Unpredictable. Ah, yes. Erratic. I should have looked at all these clues first. See, this is why I say I do that thing on tougher days, which is to go through the clues trying to find low-hanging fruit, and I didn't really do it. I never do it as much as I say I do. I think solving on the video makes me a little more reticent to just speed through a puzzle, not putting anything in it initially. So let's move on. Trickery looks like slyness, certainly. A comedy of errors. Haven't looked at this either. A comedy of errors is a gag reel. I think it's sort of a pun. So it's not referring to a comedy of errors in the sort of classical sense. It's sort of a pun. What might you call a gag reel? Well, you could amusingly call it a comedy of errors. And then let's come back to this. Let's see. Disneyland attraction with a racetrack. Well, I happen to know this is the Autopia. They're little cars that you can drive in a very restricted track. Part of a contingency plan. Oh, rain date, I suppose. I mean, I'm familiar with this general concept. I don't know that I've frequently heard rain date used explicitly, but fair enough. Actor in the Fast and Furious franchise familiarly. Good alliteration there. Fast and Furious franchise familiarly. Familiarly. The Rock, anyway, is what this is, who this is. Organization with a pedigree registry, right, so that's the American Kennel Club. Opposite of la is ici. Here's some more French. So la meaning there, and ici meaning here. And let's see, Angora rabbit, this must be, and then low notes are ones. Low notes, one. I mean, that's one is certainly low. What is a note? What is a note that is one? Well, whatever it is, it seems perfectly plausible. Anyway, we now have to solve this this cross here of the apt bingo call to lose on, which for some reason I seem to have a mental block around, and then the 2020 NFL retiree. I have not a clue, so I think the bingo call is going to be the more fruitful for me, although that's not saying much based on my performance so far, is it? I'm just glancing at the keyboard now because I'm trying to look at some letters and see if any of them spark anything for me. Why am I not seeing this? There isn't a number this could be, is there? A different number, I should say, that this could be. I'm very sorry. I know that there's a completely finite number of things this could possibly be. So what am I missing? Apt bingo call to lose on by the sound of it. Also, what is this AC? I think I said A. Didn't I say AGE? AGEE? That would make more sense as a Pulitzer winner. Oh, but aerosol. I don't think AC is a person. Atolls, I'm pretty confident, is correct. Aerogel, maybe? Synthetic material also called frozen smoke. Because Agee was a playwright. And I don't think AC is anything. Sorry, I'm sort of just dithering, but I do think that was an important correction. NFL retiree, don't know. Apt bingo call to lose on. B10. B10 sort of sounds like something to me. B10. Oh, beaten. As in you've been beaten. Wow. Okay, that took me absolutely ages. I hope I have everything correct. All right. Okay, well, that was a tricky puzzle for me, I must say. B10. B10. Wow. Okay. B10 was, for whatever reason, when I kept going through the letters, when I kept glancing down at my keyboard, going through the letters, B really seemed like it needed to be the answer. I don't know why, it just seemed like it seemed more verbal, I suppose, than the other letters I was trying, but I couldn't quite see it. Maybe it was jostling the contents of my brain and reorganizing my synapses after having to spot this aerogel thing that put me on the right track. I don't know, but that was a close call. I mean, I could have gotten B10 and then still gotten the puzzle. The puzzle still could have failed to validate because of this aerogel Agee thing. So good thing I got that. And then I suppose this is burpees. And then let's see. So the NFL retiree is Breeze. Okay. Yeah, a tricky puzzle, I would say. Not necessarily unfair, I wouldn't say, though. I mean, B10 was tough, but it makes sense. It's clever. Yeah, Mahatma. I wish I would have put in Mahatma at the beginning, because that was my first guess when I saw the clue, and I don't know. I didn't think to pencil it in. I mean, it's fair enough, I suppose. I wasn't overwhelmingly confident, but now that I know it was correct, of course, I wish I'd put it in. Full of surprises was very helpful. I mean, I had a bit of a break-in before that, but I think that was the thing that really started to unlock much of the puzzle. Yeah, it was a generally difficult, themeless Saturday puzzle, but not brutally difficult once I got going. It seemed like it maybe was going to be brutally difficult at the outset. But I got there. Anyway, I'm just blathering. How did you find this puzzle? Was it particularly tricky for you? Were there pockets of knowledge to which you were particularly well suited that put you in good stead with this puzzle? I'm curious to know, especially because it really, now that I suppose in the past week or so, I've been expressly soliciting people's experiences with given puzzles. And it is so interesting to see the range of experiences people have based on their body of knowledge, and maybe just the way that their brain works, maybe the way that their synapses fire. So let me know. I'm very curious. It's been quite interesting. I found it a little bit tricky, but basically fair, I think I would say. So well done, Joseph Greenbaum, our constructor. And thank you for joining me for this episode of The Daily Solve, and thank you for joining me for the series in general. If you're new to the series, perhaps consider subscribing so you see these videos when they go up each morning. And why not tell a friend? They might like this as well. They might like to watch someone struggle to understand how B10 is some kind of chastising exclamation yelled out by the bingo caller. B10. And if you are particularly enjoying this this series, why not contribute a couple of quid or a few bucks to help aid in its long-term sustainability? You can do that by making a small donation in an amount of your choosing on a one-off or recurring basis at my coffee page, which is linked in the description field underneath each video. And thank you, as always, so much to everybody who has done so. I really do appreciate it enormously, and I do think it's going to be the thing that I can I guess that helps this thing stay sustainable and a part of my daily work. So thank you. And with that, I think I will take off to enjoy my Saturday. I hope you also enjoy your Saturday. And we'll be back tomorrow. I hope to see you for the Sunday puzzle, the longest puzzle of the week. Not necessarily the most difficult, in fact, rarely the most difficult, but certainly always the longest. So, join me then. But until that point, have a great Saturday. Take care.